Hey, Jim Remley here with eRealEstateCoach.com. I've been out attending a few conventions over the last couple of weeks, and I've picked up a few great ideas. You know, we want to be a student of the game. We want to be able to capture great ideas and find those aha moments, and that's why we go to convention. Even experienced agents and new agents can capture some great ideas, but the key is action. You want to take action on these ideas as rapidly as you possibly can. So I've got a few ideas that I just want to share with you really quick that I thought were really good. One of them came from an agent in Seattle, and she was dealing with a market where average prices are much higher there, and she had a client that was interested in a $3.5 million listing. Her client wanted to offer $2.8 million. It's a lowball offer. You know, all markets are, you know, respective of each other, so even in her market, that's a lowball offer. So what she said to the client was, let's take a break here, let's take a pause, the market's slowing down, let's see if the seller adjusts their price at all. And they did. They ended up coming down over the next week or so. She kept in close contact with the other agent. They came down to $3.3 million. And then the client came in and wanted again to offer $2.8 million. She said, how about this? You go find me some comparables that support this price. She was dealing with an engineer. And the engineer said, great, I'll go out and find some comps. That's a great strategy, by the way. Send your buyer out to find some comps and say, listen, I have to sell this offer to the other side. So that's a great little concept for all of us when we're talking to buyers. Sometimes they put all the onus on us. Let's push some back to them. And then she went one step further. When she wrote the offer, she went a little higher. She negotiated with her own client and got them to raise the price a little bit. But when she wrote the offer, she included a letter with it that explained why they were making the offer the way they were. And it was a beautiful, smart, intelligent way to explain their position. What she said is simply this. You can see it here. Last spring, we could have paid your price because why? Interest rates were lower. But now that interest rates have gone up, all we can afford to pay is this, and here's why. And then she laid it out very intelligently by showing them interest rates in the spring and what they could pay versus interest rates today and what they can pay and how it affected their payments. What a great way. They ended up getting that deal put together at $2.875 million. So an intelligent way to have a conversation with the seller. Instead of just being an extreme price points and negotiating from emotion, negotiate from objective criteria, which is, in this case, interest rates. You can also do the same thing when you're having the conversation with your seller about price reductions. Now, we need to earn the right to have those conversations. That means we're talking to our clients every Monday morning about the market, about activity, but also about price and about strategy. So here's one example of using interest rates in that conversation to encourage your sellers to get more realistic. So you might say, hey, I'm sure you've seen the news about interest rates rising. This actually has a big impact on home prices. The higher interest rates go, the less buyers can pay for a home. So, you know, we've seen our activity actually kind of decrease over the last few weeks, and I think the interest rates are having a direct impact. I ran some numbers on our house, and I looked at how the interest rates might have impacted us. I worked with our in-house local lender, and I found that back at last spring, here's what a buyer could have afforded versus now. So I want you to take a look at that. I'm going to send that over to you, and then let's talk about strategy. So what a great way to, again, have an intelligent conversation with your seller about how interest rates impacts real buyers buying their home and the payments that buyers may be paying based on those higher rates. Here's another idea, and that's the concept of voicemail drops. Now, we're all trained to talk to our sphere of influence multiple times a year, but we all also know that's physically sometimes difficult to power through all those hundreds of calls. So right now, we're entering this stretch of time where we have 4 holidays back to back. We've got Halloween, which may or may not have already passed, then we've got Thanksgiving, then we've got Christmas, then we've got New Year's, and there could be others, you know, depending on your faith and what you celebrate, there could be lots of others. And so these are often opportune times to just call and talk to your clients and wish them a happy holiday season. But if you can't physically get to call them, what about a voicemail drop? A voicemail drop is a way to put a voicemail, drop it right into the client's phone without the phone actually ringing. So you don't actually have to talk to them. And the beautiful thing is you can broadcast it like an email, so it just automatically drops in hundreds of voicemails in one fell swoop, one split second, it's all there. So you can literally load hundreds of people in your entire database, and then every one of them gets a voicemail drop. There's advantages, of course. Some people don't want to be interrupted during work. A lot of people are probably too busy to necessarily take your call, so that's an advantage. Another advantage is a lot of people are doing text voicemail, meaning their voicemails automatically get transcribed to text, so they're going to be able to read it. And it's just a time saver for you. So take a look at it. There's a lot of companies that do it. We've got one that I've used a lot, Sly Broadcast, which does a great job. There's another system out there called Call Loop, which also does a great job. But here's another concept, another way to prospect, and that's to use this with for sale by owners and expired listings. Imagine doing a voicemail drop, a single drop into one phone that is a phone of a for sale by owner or an expired listing. Or better yet, have your team do it on your behalf. You record the message, it's your voice, your energy, your enthusiasm, but it's now being automatically done like a growth hack to multiple for sale by owners every day or multiple expired listings every day. It's a beautiful idea, something to consider, and something we're going to be adding to our mastery classes with the for sale by owner and expired listing mastery classes. Last thing I want to share with you is this concept of geo-farming on Instagram. I know we're covering a lot here, but geo-farming on Instagram. So we all know that Instagram is a growing social media outlet for all of us. And so if you're using Instagram, when you're on there and you post something, you have the option of doing a geolocation. So you can choose where you're at. If you're at the mall, you're at the house, you're at an open house, you're here, you're there. But you can also search by address. And so I did a little search this morning on my own Instagram account, and I searched by Eagle Point, which is a town that's nearby to me. And so in Eagle Point, I got all these people that had posted recently based on that geolocation of Eagle Point. Now here's what a lot of smart millennial agents are doing, and we can also model that no matter what our age is. They're going in and they're liking or commenting on all these different people that are in the Eagle Point market. Imagine applying that to a listing. You're at a listing, you take the listing and you do a little quick post, you geolocate yourself at the listing, or you're doing an open house, and now you're starting to farm those people around that location. You can do it at events. If you're at an event and you want to get to know the people in the room and you want to share your experience, it's another way to do some geo-farming. It's an interesting way to connect demographically with people and geographically with people. So there's some ideas, some concepts for you. Join us over at eRealEstateCoach.com for more, and good selling.